Hello, I'm Rick Barclay and I'm with Piano Clubhouse, and today we are going to learn Arthur's theme from the motion picture Arthur. And this was during the early 80s, 1981. It's copyright date on this, and Christopher Cross was the gentleman that sang it, and it was written by four people: Burt Bacharach, Carl Bayer Sager, Christopher Cross, and Peter Allen. Bacharach and Carol Bayo Sager, they were basically a big team during this time period, and a little bit before that, also during the 70s, writing lots of huge hits that you probably have heard and just didn't know who wrote them. So anyway, let's just dive in. This is a really cool piece, and then it kind of gravitates between two different keys. Very ingenious the way that it gravitates between the two. The first one is kind of more like a D minor, and modal in a way almost. So D minor is this: D, E, F, G, A, B flat, C, D. And that's natural minor. Okay, and then when it gets to the chorus, it does more of a major tonality of the key of D. And the key of D is D, E, F sharp, G, A, B, C sharp, and D. Okay, so it's more kind of a modal type thing that they're doing with this, but for simplicity's sake, we're just going to say that we're gravitating between those two different keys, and I'll try to make reference to that whenever we hit that place. So it starts with a little piano intro. Okay, so that first part right there was F naturals in the right hand, and then you're going to do D, A, D, one and two and. So that was right there was on count two was the A, and then it's a F natural and a D, and of three is a C and an E, and then and of four is this anticipation of going to a G chord. So that was the B and the D, and then on count one you hit the G down there. So let me do that measure again. Okay, and that right there is basically just arpeggiating out the G chord. So G's in the bass, a G, B, D, and then you're going to hit these two notes together, G and a B, and then it does the 7 as the melodic line. Okay? That was 3, 4, and this is in 4/4 by the way. That's the F right there, count 4. Now it goes to a C triad. So C, G, C, G, C, E. And that right there on the end of 2 was C and E. And of 3 is going to be B and D. And then the end of 4, we're just going to hit the A note because we quickly go into the downbeat of 1 of shifting over to a solid F triad. Okay, so that measure. So see, I kind of threw that one away, which is the end of 4. So it anticipates going to the F. So now it's F, C, and F, and we're kind of just arpeggiating those type of triads down there. And then the A and the F. Okay, just doing chord notes, walking down. So I'm keeping my A in this whole complex of things. F, E, D, C, and all the time this A is involved. Okay, and this is a B flat now, B flat in the bass, F, B flat, and D. And that was F, B flat, 1, 2, and at this point you're doing kind of a harmony type part with your left hand, so it's going to be D and then B flat up here, and of 3 will be an A and a C, and then on the and of 4 a G sharp and a B, and then on count 1 you're doing to an E. So we're anticipating going to an E7 triad at this point. Okay, so do that. Okay, you see how I'm arpeggiating the E7 chord right here. So E in the bass, and then that B, and then the arpeggio is and 2 and 3 and 4, and so that's E, G sharp, B, D, and then back down. Okay, one more time for. right here. So it's kind of like a suspended type of tonality at first. Here we got an A, and then E, B, and D, and then the C sharp, and the end of 2 is a full-fledged A triad. So A is sustaining the bass again, A, C sharp, and E. Okay, so 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Okay, so that measure right there, and of 1 is A. It's basically an E over A. So E, G sharp, B. So that's a 1 and 2 and 3 goes to a solid A chord with the C sharp on the top. A, E, A's in the bass, and then it's going to be A over C sharp in the bass, A, C sharp, E, and now we're ready basically for the verse. Okay, so let's go back and do that whole intro again. Slowly. Basically at this point. So this does go a little bit faster than what I was doing, but again, as all of our lessons, we tend to try to take things a little bit slower so they're doable, and then you can speed them up as you get more comfortable with the piece. Okay, so now we're into a D minor fully again. So D's in the bass. If you want to add the A, you can. And then we have F natural, C natural, and F natural. Doing eighth notes, 1 and 2 and 1 and 2, 1 and 2 and 4 and. So that was A, and then and of 4 is B, F, and A. And then on count 1, you go to the G, and then the and of 1, it was the B, and then this is, you can grab this in different ways. If you do it like this, it's B, F, G, and B. G7 chord basically. Okay, those two measures again. And then just notice how I'm kind of toggling back and forth, filling up counts, if you will, while this is holding on. And you're just being an accompanist, if you will, to yourself. And then that was D and G, and then the B and the D and the F, if you want. You know, just toggling back and forth between those two. And then to a C now. So what that was a C, so C, G, C, G, C, E, 1 and 2 and 4. Count 4 was the C up on top, G and E, and then to an F, so F, C, F in the bass, and this was A, C, F, and that's E and G on count 2, count 3 is F and D, count 4 is E and the C. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So, and again, I'm kind of, you know, upbeats, if you will, on my left hand. Help filling things up. Now to a B flat, D F A. Excuse me, not D F A. B flat F, B flat F, B flat D. B flat triad, 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 4. Count 4, it's B flat D F. So the E7 sus. The sus is the A, so E's in the bass, A, D, and E. This will be an E sus 7, basically. E7 sus, if you want to call it that. And the 7 is the D. 1, 2, 3, 4. Count 3 is E, G sharp, and D. And it goes to an A at that point. So A in the bass, E, B, D. 1, 2, and on count 2, it's A, C sharp, and then the and 2, it's a full-fledged A triad at that point. So E, A, C sharp, and E. And then we got our little basically a double verse. So that was the E over A. So A, E, G sharp, A, triad, A,